Hey there, how's it going everyone? Welcome back, Plant Abundance here. Today I'm going to be sharing with you tip number 3 when starting a food forest. That is to plant more than you think that you need. Plant densely, plant in abundance. So having excess is actually a good thing. There's so many different ways that you can utilize it. First and foremost, I hope that you're taking in most of the produce that you're growing, whether it be preparing meals at home, smoothies, salads, just picking fresh fruit and vegetables right off the trees and shrubs and plants and taking it in. That's the best thing that you could possibly do. But if you've got animals on site like chickens, you can also share some of the harvest with them, and they'll definitely reward you with things like eggs. Friends and neighbors, they're really going to appreciate when you give them something that you grew with your own 2 hands, especially if it's delicious. So try to give them some of the good stuff and share that with them. You can barter with it as well. And anything beyond that point, I'd suggest throwing into a compost pile to help build your soil. Some of the plant matter you can chop and drop and create mulch around the base of your other plants. So just so much that you can do. Another benefit of growing more than you're going to need is that you can grow several of the same type of plant and sprinkle those all throughout the landscape and gather information over the season as to where it grew the best. And you can use that in future years to grow a larger patch of that variety. Now, every yard is going to be unique in that it's going to have its own set of microclimates. It's going to interact with the pattern of the sun in different ways. For example, you can see over in this corner of the yard over here, I've got some wine cap mushrooms emerging. Now, I've got several patches of wine cap mushrooms all throughout the garden, but that particular patch is doing the best. So in future years, I'm probably going to do even a heavier inoculation of mushroom spawn over there, as I know that the mushrooms really thrive in that particular little microclimate and environment. Greens are another plant that I grow in abundance, although it would only take maybe 2 or 3 of these tree collards to feed me and my family throughout the entire season. I've got dozens and dozens of this plant growing everywhere. And in this case, I'm able to actually spread out my harvest by picking a little bit off of this plant, a little bit off of that plant. If I'm looking for tender leaves, there's an abundance of smaller leaves that I can use for my salads and things like that. If I'm going to be making a sauté or a smoothie, I can pick the larger leaves, but there's plenty of choices here because of the amount of plants that I have. And after years of growing this plant in different locations throughout the garden, I found that it appreciates full sun and actually does extremely well growing atop a hugelkultur. Now, this information is something that I could only come across after having experimented with growing this plant in several different locations throughout the yard, all of which it does well. I'm just saying that it does particularly well on the hugelkultur in full sun, and that's why this entire mound is now covered with greens. So you might not need 2 dozen Ashitaba plants, although I do think everyone does need 2 dozen Ashitaba plants growing in their yard. But even if you are under that impression, why not go ahead and plant more of the plant than you think you're going to need, just to fill space and also have that abundance. So if you do decide to harvest some leaves and make some tea, you have that option. Another benefit to growing densely, especially in a food forest design, is that you're going to be growing in layers. And each one of those layers can help facilitate and aid the other plants growing beneath and above them. In this case, you see I've got some fruit trees with some nice canopies developing, and those fruit trees are creating some shade during the hot sun midday. And under these trees, I've got plants that are growing that like a little bit of protection from that midday sun. I've got lavender, which also does well in full sun, parsley, comfrey, oregano, and you can see they're all thriving right now. And because they're partly shaded, they're going to require a lot less water to keep the soil moist, because not only do I have the mulch layer, but I have that canopy shading out the ground. Planting more than you're going to need is also a wonderful insurance policy that's going to guarantee your success in the garden. You never know what might come your way. It could be a pest that comes through, it could be a weather change. But if you've got, let's say, several dozen of a specific plant versus just a couple, your chances of having success all the way to the end of the season and reaping a harvest are going to be much larger, versus if you don't plant enough and something comes through, there's no coming back from that. Also, by occupying space in the landscape with plants that you're intentionally trying to establish, you're taking over the spots so that unwanted weeds don't end up popping up. Even if you got a nice mulch layer down, eventually some weeds are going to come up and come into play, as that's what nature does. It wants to create a living skin for itself. And so by being proactive and again occupying the space with the plants that you want to see grow in your garden, you'll be doing yourself a big favor in the long run. Here's an example where I had a little patch that was open and decided to go ahead and plug in a bunch of fava bean. So fava bean can work as a ground cover. The leaves, the flowers, the tips are all edible. Of course, the pod and the beans that are created are also edible and delicious. But had I not planted these in this area would be barren. Some weeds would be popping up by now. There'd be nothing to harvest, nothing to gain from this area, and that'd be a shame. Now, it is important when planting densely that you're still getting the spacing correct. Some things you may plant too close to each other and then later thin them out to the most vigorous and strongest growers. That's, again, another benefit to growing densely. But when it comes to fruit trees, for example, know if you're buying a dwarf, a semi-dwarf, or a full size, how large that tree is expected to get and how much input it's going to take from you to manage that tree size, and take that into account as you're designing your landscape. Now look at this patch of mallow, which is a weed a lot of people want to eradicate from their yard. I actually eat the leaves in the springtime. It's one of the best times to enjoy this plant. At this point, however, it is getting a bit out of control. So I'll come through here and I'll hack some of this down pretty soon, and I'll harvest some of it to eat. I'll give some to the chickens. I'll create some compost and open up the area. So even though right now it looks really dense, like it might be taken over, that's not the case because I'm part of this whole system helping to manage it. Comfrey is a wonderful plant to plant abundantly throughout your landscape and to fill in voids. There are so many uses for this plant, one being a beneficial insect attractor, another being a chop and drop. And like I said before, it's occupying a space, preventing other unwanted weeds that may take root from showing up. And this cut and come again plant will show up several times throughout a season, even after you've chopped it completely down. What I like to do is actually take out the majority of the plant. I'll use my hori here. But if you can see, I've left some of the younger tender leaves that are growing from the center of the plant still intact. This is just going to expedite the plant coming back with a vigor and reoccupying this space once again. And what I've got here is a wonderful chop and drop mulch to add around the base of my fruit trees and my other plants. This stuff breaks down really quick. It's extremely low in fiber, full of nutrients that have been mined from deep down in the soil, as the plant has a very deep taproot. I'm going to harvest this plant here as well. Today I think I'll mulch and feed this cherry tree here. And so there you have it, one of the finest chop and drop plants that you can grow. And we're accomplishing several things here. We're feeding this fruit tree. At the same time, we're retaining moisture into the soil by keeping the ground covered with this skin layer. And we're building the soil, and we're also keeping the soil a bit cooler, which can be beneficial, especially in the hot summer months, keeping the roots of your plants a bit cooler. I'm going to harvest yet another one here. And by growing a comfrey plant at the base of every one of your fruit trees, you've got on-demand fertilizer and mulch. And I've shown you this before, but let me show you how easy it is to divide and proliferate the comfrey plant. I'm just going to stick my digging fork right there at the base of the plant. And we'll pop up. May have to get it from a couple different angles. Look at that. See those deep roots? And it broke off, so it's hard to say how far down they go. Several feet in some cases. Now I can just split this up. Here's one plant. Two plants, three plants, four, five. Any viable section of root like this can be broken up to create several plants. So 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's at least 10 plants that I created from just that one. So I'm just going to break up some of that root, stick it back in there. Put one plant back in the same location here. And this plant will flush out and be back to full size in no time. And I've now got all these other plants that I could put elsewhere in the garden. And besides being a fertilizer, a ground cover, a beneficial insect attractor, some folks like myself will use it as a food source. It can also be used as a medicinal to make a poultice, which can be helpful in healing cuts, bruises, burns. I make a poultice and put them in between paper towels, put them in the freezer, so I always have them on hand. If you're interested in checking out that video, I'll put a link to it below this video in the description box. Well, I'm going to wrap up this video now. I do hope that it was helpful or entertaining in some way. If so, I sure would appreciate a like, and if you haven't already, I'd like to invite you to subscribe to the channel. New uploads every week, and I'm always updating you on all the different projects going on around here. So with that, this is Dan from plantabundance.com, wishing you all a great rest of your day. I'll be talking to you again soon. Take care.